How's it going, everyone? We've got a massive new Stellar Blade update to go over. A lot of new fixes and enhancements with the PlayStation 5 and PC release. Both versions will be seeing this update. And the official Stellar Blade Twitter page does have a rundown of everything coming to the game, so we'll talk about that. Also got a bit of an update for one of the games in 2024 that had a lot of buzz early on in the year, but kind of died off a little bit. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, it has hit a major sales milestone, so we'll talk that at the end of this video. But I know most of you guys are going to be interested in the Stellar Blade information, so let's go over that. PS5 and PC shared update details. As a token of appreciation for all the love and support from our players, we've prepared 7 newly arranged tracks based on the existing BGM. Visit The Last Gulp in Zion to receive a thank you gift as well. Don't Forget Me, Flooded Commercial Sector, Clock Tower, White Knight, Wasteland Reboot, Oasis, and Don't Forget Mode. Also, the Hard Mode is now available from the start of the game. Hard Mode is also unlocked for Boss Challenge. Love to see that. I really think hard difficulties out of games, I get why some games tie them to beating the game and then you get it, but I think some people want that challenge. It's just like when I talk about Lies of P having an easy mode and how much I love that, the difficulty options in games, I feel like for the most part should be available right out the gate. And one of the most egregious examples of a game that I think people would have really appreciated a hard difficulty right off the bat was Final Fantasy 16. I think that game, if it had a hard difficulty, the Final Fantasy difficulty right off the bat, I think people would have really enjoyed that game more because that normal difficulty was so easy. Now, to be fair, with that game, the Final Fantasy mode like raised the level cap and all this, so I guess like how that game is structured, they kind of had to have it after you beat the game. But I feel like for that game, a more challenging option right off the bat would have gone a long way. And for games in general, I feel like if you can, especially if it's like an action game like this where some people are just going to be really competent at them and steamroll through them, I think having the hard difficulty right off the rip would be beneficial, but that is quite good, and it's available from the start of the game. Hard mode is also unlocked for Boss Challenge, so that's great. Fixed an issue during the quest, Where is the Fantastic Bait, where bait drop from underwater boxes was occasionally unobtainable. Fixed an issue where upon entering the Demogorgon battle, the camera would sometimes move away from the intended position, making aiming impossible. Fixed an issue where the art book would occasionally not appear on the title screen after completing the first playthrough. I believe that was a recent addition with the art book implemented as well. Fixed an issue where entering Boss Challenge while wearing Planet Diving Suit 6v3 would cause the outfit to revert to the skin suit. Fixed an issue during the Scarlet battle where QTEs could cause abnormal character motion and camera behavior. And fixed an issue where the game would occasionally crash when entering photo mode, and various other bug fixes as well. The PC version has also gotten some updates, which we will go over. This is specific to the PC version. Along with the 1.2.0 patch, Stellar Blade items are coming to the Steam Point Shop. Badges, trading cards, still, and animated background stickers, and more. Love to see that getting added. That should be, you know, a common thing right off the bat. That getting added definitely is great. If saving fails during gameplay, a save failure message will now appear at the center left of the screen. A save file recovery feature has been added. If save becomes corrupted, a backup save can now be restored upon launching the game. In the graphics options menu, the expected VRAM display has been improved to show both current usage and the expected maximum usage. Fixed an issue where the logo rotation key did not work in photo mode when using an AZERTY keyboard. Fixed an issue where Eve's gun would occasionally disappear on some PCs after using a burst skill in the Nikkei minigame, and players who obtain the Planet Diving Suit by connecting their PlayStation Network account can now purchase the design pattern Planet Diving Suit version 2 at Roxanne's shop during New Game Plus as well. So all of that has been rolled out for the PC version of the game. A quick update as far as the numbers the game's pulling. The game did peak at 192,000 concurrent players. That was the weekend of the launch, and right now it's got 36,000 players as I'm recording the video. It's still peaking at about 49 to 50,000 players a day. Guys, that number for a single player game that isn't the lengthiest game in the world a month after release is still really good. And again, the all-time peak of 192,000 is still an outstanding number, even though some people like to pretend that players out of certain regions are not legitimate players, you know, figure that one out. But yeah, the game has been an outstanding success on PC, so great to see that. And that's gonna mean that if they do decide to do more DLC, which I feel like it would be malpractice, business malpractice at this point. Yes, they're working on a sequel, but I feel like it would be business malpractice to not do more DLC. Try to figure out crossover content, and this is a game that PlayStation published on PC outside of, I believe, the release in China for Stellar Blade, but PlayStation hasn't invested interest into the Stellar Blade IP. I know there's this rumbling of the Switch 2 port, but there's a lot of potential for the game with a DLC, especially now that you're working with a significantly larger pool of people that are invested into the game. You know, we did hear that there was an expansion that was talked about and in the works as far as a single-player story expansion, but the scale of that expanded to a point where they're just going to spin the work into Stellar Blade 2, which, you know, that's great. And there was that 2027 release window thrown around. At this point, I don't think it'll hit that. Remember that Stellar Blade came out in 2024. They have been working on the PC release for a while, and the crossover content and things of that nature, and the updates to the game. The work on Stellar Blade 2 really at this point is starting now. They're going to get a lot of traction on it now, but with the game development cycle, 2027 is probably a little bit too early. Ideally, you know, 2028, 2029 would be when I think Stellar Blade 2 would be dropping, and to line that up with the PlayStation 6 launch, it would definitely, I would imagine, be a cross-gen title. And it's not like Stellar Blade was this game that, yes, it looked really good, but the technical performance of the game was fantastic. That's one of those games that I would really have as a cross-gen release than having it as, let's say, a PlayStation 6 exclusive. But there you go with that. That significant update. A lot is coming, and love the fact that they're adding the hard mode right off the rip. Again, while I'm not a big fan of playing on hard difficulty modes, I know for a game like this, it is very beneficial to have that right out the gate for people that do want that extra challenge. Moving on from that, one game that I really did enjoy last year, however, did not have a lot of staying power, at least as much as I hoped. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink has cracked over 2 million copies sold, which is a great number. The game had a ton of interest initially, and then it just didn't get a lot of significant content updates. It got some, but, you know, the content that was in the game right out the gate, I think some people can make an argument it was already worth the price of admission. Hopefully, with the success of the game, this does pave the way for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink 2, or getting some sort of follow-up title, or Grand Blue just being a mainstay as far as gaming is concerned and seeing consistent releases, because I think you do have something that you can build upon if you want to do a major single-player JRPG, maybe something a little bit different than Relink, where it was a little bit multiplayer focused, but there's a lot of options in terms of what you can do with Grand Blue Fantasy, and good to see that the IP is doing well. We always need new IPs in the JRPG space, and yes, you're gonna have your Final Fantasies of the world, the Square Enix IPs, but now you're getting Grand Blue popping off. If you want to throw in Expedition, I mean, that's a Japanese RPG-inspired game. However you want to view that, you've got a plethora of different JRPGs doing very, very well. And obviously, Persona 4 getting a remake, Persona's hot, Tales is getting all of these remasters, hopefully the next mainline Tales game, and Grand Blue doing well. Definitely a good time to be a JRPG fan. You got FF Tactics coming out, hopefully all of these games do rather well, and who knows, maybe Final Fantasy 17, a lot of you guys will get your wish in terms of shifting back into a turn-based title, which Square Enix has been talking about. But that is going to do it for me. Again, Stellar Blade getting a major update. Hard mode going to be available right off the bat, which I think is a massive, massive addition, and something I think more games should be implementing. Again, I look at something like a Final Fantasy 16, and I get with how the Final Fantasy mode was done in that game, but, you know, a hard difficulty for that game in particular would have been great to have right off the bat. And Stellar Blade, having the hard difficulty right off the bat is great. And Grand Blue Fantasy Relink has cracked 2 million copies sold. Great numbers for that game. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.